So a few years ago, people used to do sales in regards to hard sales. That's what used to do well. And when I say a few years, I mean 10, 15 years ago. A lot of people would teach you, sell me a product or sell me a product or a service, and you would start talking about how that product and service was good. That's actually a terrible way to do sales. Trust me when I say this, I really understand sales in terms of phones, in terms of dealing with clients. I've sat opposite billionaires. I've sat in front of people who are just starting off. And by the way, it does vary. But nobody likes to be sold to. That's something we have to understand. If nobody likes to be sold to, then you're not going to sell something by selling it. Because let's be honest, most of us now, when we're watching someone doing a video, when we're hearing someone on the phone, or at any point, if we feel like we are being sold to, we go into our defensive mode. We don't really want to hear it. We feel like the person is doing something wrong. Instead, what you have to do is you try to provide value. Now, the only way you can provide value is by finding out how to provide value. Now, trust me, take your time. If something didn't make sense, just go back and watch it again. But providing value is the most important part of doing sales. And so the wrong way in this is, have you ever heard people say, cut the price, have a discount, or tell people you're going to increase the price? It creates FOMO, and so people will tend to buy, and that's how you increase your sales. A terrible way. It's barbaric why you would want to sell yourself like that. Now, it's all well and good sometimes. It is all well and good sometimes, but very, very, very rarely. And let's give you an idea. When you're selling, you don't just want to be someone who underprices or is cheap. That's actually a terrible way to do sales, and that's actually a terrible way to price your product or service. And think of it like this. Some of the biggest brands in the world don't run sales. Some of the biggest brands in the world, they concentrate on their brand. Apple, Louis Vuitton, Dior. These companies, they don't run sales, they don't discount. They might do one-off things I don't know about, but the reality is they're a brand. And so you should focus on, your brand, and that's in a perspective of when you're dealing with a product. And even if it's a service, you want to brand yourself as someone who over-delivers on the product, over-delivers on the service, and therefore keeps the amount high. See, a lot of people think that we're just going to price down and we're just going to be super cheap, and that's how we're going to win business. It's true that you might win business by undercutting the market. That is true, but actually that might not be the right decision for your business. Because if you can over-provide and provide a ton of value, then people will pay you for the service that you provide. Now, there will be companies who won't be able to afford you, and that's okay. But you want to be in a situation where you are providing at least the average in the market, if not more. And it's better to provide more. A statement which I hold quite closely actually is, if something is easily accessible, it's less desirable. Now listen to that again. If something is easily accessible, it's less desirable. And, you can use that statement in many ways. You can use that in terms of a good guy, a good woman, maybe even the Apple products. Right? Sometimes in the beginning, of course, they're very difficult to get a hold of, right? Even when you look at Matalan or Primark or H&M, those products are easily accessible to the masses, and so they're less desirable. It's very difficult to actually be priced exactly right.